this morning and get in on the conversation. If you're listening in on the live stream, of course, you know you can jump right in on the conversation and make it a part of your Thursday edition. And man, Alabama making a little noise on the recruiting trail. So we're definitely going to get to that this morning. And of course, we're going to maybe go back and visit um, the DP versus RCW um, situation. We might throw up a little highlight if technology allow us to indulge you a little bit. If not, we'll continue to break down the recruiting because Alabama's definitely making some noise. So remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, X.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Doing well, doing well. Simeon, not doing too good this morning, so keep him in your prayers. But hopefully everything will be good there. Um, and so I'll toss it to you to give us a little recruiting news.
Yeah, Alabama's had a big week this last week, and hopefully we can make some shake tomorrow as well as I get into that. But let's talk about who Alabama has landed over the last week. It started last Friday with Kingston Pre-Year, the number one player currently in the 2028 class from the state of Alabama. He has I'm sorry, the number three player. They just reshifted things around. He was number one until the recent update. But he's the number three player in the state of Alabama out of Benjamin Russell High School. He was the quarterback this past season in high school for five-star wide receiver Xavier Morgan. He committed 6'3", 195 pounds. If one thing Coach DeBoer is going to do is he's going to recruit quarterbacks and recruit them at a high level. So kudos to him on making this commitment. And then you turn around and you look at the 20 within the 2028 class as well. Alabama got a commitment from Anthony Blaylock Jr. out of Youngstown, Ohio, another four-star offensive lineman. He's probably going to move inside based off of what things are being projected. He stands 6'5", 305 pounds. So Bama with six commits so far in the 2028 class is the number one class within the 20 in the country, sitting ahead. So when we look at it, it does seem like Alabama looked ahead to the 2028 class and said, "Hey, this is where we're gonna invest a little bit more in, go after guys a little bit more." And that was something I mentioned a couple weeks ago when we were talking about this, because you look at the 2025 class, that's a top three class in the country. You look at the 2026 class, it's a top three class in the country. And then, of course, everybody's like, what's going on with this 27 class? Why isn't Alabama getting guys? What's going on? We've lost a couple of four stars. Oh, three-star U. I think it had. I think this might be something you see, and this is what the game plan is going to be. Where there's going to be a class where you feel needs for depth, you feel needs for the future, but you don't sign a bunch of 4 and 5 stars every single class. Especially with Alabama retaining and having the retention rates that they're striving to have and have had over the last couple of years of 48 players, you have 47 that are still on this team from the previous couple of classes.
Yeah, and in the part that you have to also think about, Xavier, is um, it's not just how many guys you sign this year. Is if you were to sign, let's say Alabama repeats It's retention rate. You know, um, and next year they still have 45, 47, 45 of the 48. That means
Hmm.
that between they're going to have let's just say they lose a couple more guys, okay?
Yeah.
But they still have a high retention and they have 45, 44, whatever number. That means that they're going to have 44 guys that they personally signed that are juniors or seniors. Okay, so juniors or seniors, um, and um, and so you're gonna have this year. They have 19-9. They have 26, right? I mean 28. So and that's including the transfers that they bring in this year. So next year they could have 44 that they sign, and then say they sign six. So they could have 50 guys next year if they just bring six guys in from the portal in the 27 class. Let that sink in. X, you're not on.
You go from a very, very young team to a very, very old team very fast with the strategy that that Coach DeBoer and Courtney Morgan and staff have implemented. I mean, you don't you don't have to sign a ton of guys each and every year. And Jay Powell goes, so will having a high retention rate hurt recruiting down the road if guys know they will get signed and have to sit? I mean,
No,
no, because you're always going to recruit. You're always going to land guys.
yeah. So the question was by Jacob Powell. So will having a high retention hurt recruiting down the road if guys know they will get signed and have to sit? No, because you look at the 28 class, is they're recruiting according to that need. Like the kid from, was it Arab or
Yeah,
Arab, the
yeah.
offensive lineman? They recruited him and told him that that he would be expected to be developed, and then in a couple years,
Hmm.
um,
Stafford Willis.
yeah, So uh,
But Jacob, that's what we're saying. You come in and say, yeah, but the high end guys, not the 3 stars. Well, Alabama has the number one recruiting class in 2028 right now,
hold on,
and if you go look at the 2020, just go to 247 Sports and look at the 2028 in-state guys, like the top 10. If you go look at that list, Alabama is in on and projected to get the majority of those guys. Is Alabama going to get every single one? Probably not. But the, Bama projected to get 7 to 8 of the top 10 in-state guys
yeah.
next year.
And let me even address, yeah, the high end guys. Some of the high end guys, I don't care if you sign 10 guys or if you sign 30 guys. Some of the guys are gonna get redshirted and have to wait anyway. It doesn't matter. Some guys just aren't ready to play. So you're gonna have a percentage no matter what your class makeup is. But if you know that you're gonna have a bunch of guys returning, then you lessen that. And so, Jacob, what's happening is remember the class that we're talking about right now will be signed during the class where we have the 50 seniors, the 50 juniors and seniors. So in the 28 class, Jacob, you better be getting a lot of dogs because they're going to be coming in when you're cleaning out that 50 plus.
Yep.
Okay, so it's to me, if this is their strategy, it seems like a brilliant strategy. They're getting older and they recognize that, but if they can retain the retention, then they're going to have a situation where where they're going to have to mail some guys in that are ready to play instantly, just like we've seen this coaching staff is willing to play young guys if they're ready, while at the same time building a bench strength so that these guys that's signing right now, if they get a couple of years, guess what you have? In a couple of years, you have a bunch of 3 stars that are juniors and seniors, and a 3-star junior and senior who's been in the locker room, who's been in the weight room, who's been practicing, who's been learning your playbook is going to be better than 90% of the 5 stars that come out of high school as true
Physical
freshmen.
maturity,
Yeah, so physical, it won't be just, it'll be
physical,
physical.
mental.
What people don't understand, the transition from going from high school to college and dealing with the responsibility and the freedom and learning to go to class and learning to be out on your own in an apartment, all of those things that go into it outside of just football. You'll have 3 stars with weight room, locker room, nutrition, playbook, reps, development, age, maturity, and life versus a true
Mhm.
freshman that comes in with all of the weight. There's a kid, guy, I'm not going to give you his name, but there's a kid that has been signed, and I'm even going to tell you which class. In the last 2 years under this staff, uh, X and listening audience, the reason this kid struggled had nothing to do with his talent.
Mhm.
You know they have, y'all know they have doctors and stuff that can help these guys. These guys, this young man struggled because he could not, he had a hard time handling and shouldering the weight of being the financial provider for his family.
At 18 years
Hold
old.
on, hold on, hold on. I want to listen to us and let that sit for a second, Xavier. Then I want you to respond. Listen to what I said. You look at we look at these young men and we don't understand that it's more than their talent that gets them on the field. It's their ability to handle life. It's their ability to handle life. And this young man had a hard time because he was pressing the play, because he was worried that if he doesn't play this year, then he could lose his financial money next year. So that made him press even more. And the more he pressed, the more mistakes he made. The more mistakes he made, the less he played. Let that sink in, X. And when you after you do that, take us a break.
Yeah, and you're talking about an 18, 19-year old having to shoulder that load for whatever reason. And that, man, that's oof, I'm 35, and it can be taxing shouldering the load.
Well, our biggest epidemic in America is fatherless homes.
Yeah,
Okay. Men who are running and shucking their responsibility. Just imagine putting your mom and dad on you and your siblings on your shoulders at 18 years old.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't. That's why I appreciate you, you and Mo. Uh, but yeah, no, I mean, so it's a lot that goes into it. And Jacob, just to answer your question right before we go, you said, are we one of the only schools doing this or no? Honestly, I don't know. But what I think you will see, Jacob, is a lot of these schools that continue to spend a lot of money and try to sign number one, number two, number three classes. It's there's one school, two schools maybe, and I would say Oregon and Texas Tech that have almost what you would consider unlimited NIL. These other schools do not have that. And when we talk about that, that's why you see some of their classes just completely dissipate and leave. Texas Tech in
Let's
2022 is the prime example of they signed 8 5 stars and not a, and I think of those 8, one of them finished his career
X. Let's
at there.
X.
But
We need to get a break just for our sake, because and I don't want, cause you're starting a whole new conversation. So
yeah,
let's break here and we'll pick up on the other side talking about it's not just whether you sign the classes, it's whether you keep the classes. And I want to see. We know the class, the group that has probably had the biggest jump from one year to the next in a recruiting class is Texas A&M.
Yep.
And what happened to that class? They're doing it again this year. Does what happened with this year's class potentially, if Texas A&M model versus the Alabama model, we'll break that down more. And we still hadn't finished talking about who Alabama has signed and got commitments from this year. In that process continuing to pick up. So let's break that down on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Interstate's in great shape. 359 north and south on a brake light to be found. Same story, 2059 east and west getting you to and from Birmingham. Skyland Boulevard's working well parallel towards the interstate. McFarland Boulevard's working well getting you around city limits. 15th Street is a great bypass getting by the university. Looks like Greensboro north and south working well parallel to 359. Everything else in solid shape. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Ed Ursico.
This report is sponsored by Duracell. Built different.
Save more at Townsend Nissan. Sentra, $195 a month. Rogue, $288 a month. $6,000 off Pathfinders and 3 years of free oil changes. Townsend Nissan, your family in the car business.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
From remotes to automatic corkscrews, Duracell keeps you ready. Their double and triple A batteries are the only ones with power-boost ingredients built for long-lasting performance. Get the limited edition Duracell and Messy batteries in store at Lowe's, Walmart, or Amazon.
After a wreck, everything you do matters. Say the wrong thing, your claim is denied. Miss a step, evidence disappears, and the insurance company closes their file. That's why you need protection now. You need someone who knows the process and protects your rights from the start. Call Ms. Rayno. Dial 900-9000. That's 900-9000 for a free consultation, no fees unless we win. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be formed is greater than that of other lawyers.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
New Mazdas, under $29,900. Now through Monday at the all-new Tuscaloosa Mazda. Save thousands during our grand reopening with 3 new models under $29,900. Hot new Mazda 3s, the all-wheel drive CX-30, and the rugged new CX-50. They're all under $29,900. Under $29,900 for a brand new Mazda. Now at the all-new Tuscaloosa Mazda. Plus, get 0% financing. 0 for 72 months. And you don't need perfect credit. Plus, acres of Mazda certified pre-owned. Save thousands during our grand reopening with 3 new models. Mazda 3s, CX-30s, and CX-50s. Your choice under $29,900. And 0% financing for 72 months. Now through Monday at Tuscaloosa Mazda. New location, corner of Skyland East Boulevard and Palisades Drive. TuscaloosaMazda.com. TuscaloosaMazda.com. For details, visit TuscaloosaMazda.com.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. As typical summertime weather is going to stay with us here next several days. Sunshine, hot temperatures here today, 92. Westerly breeze, clear, warm tonight, 74. Hotter temperatures tomorrow, sunshine, 93. About a 30% chance of late afternoon and early evening storms, and more of the same on Saturday. Saturday's high in the mid-90s. A pop-up shower or storm chance continues into the day on Sunday. Richard Wedding of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 74 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. We are live, local, and moving right along on this Thursday edition of the program. Ended up going a little long in that segment. That's okay. So this is going to be a quick catch-up segment here, X. But real quick on the topic, Texas A&M did this. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. We'll finish that, then I'll close out with the commitment we got yesterday.
Yeah, and the offensive lineman. Talk a little bit about him. But Texas A&M NIL came out swinging. Virtually lost every one of those recruits, okay? Because it's the NFL effect, Xavier. It's the NFL effect.
Mm-hmm.
The year that I came out of college was when they first began to flip because the team started – the pay for rookies was starting to get so crazy. And the veteran was like, "What? Hey, what's the deal here? We're here serving you, and you're giving this kid out of high school based on potential. Out of college based on potential. Yeah, I've been producing for you." And they flipped it. They cut the draft down so it would not be as much competition every year. Mm-hmm. And then they put a cap on the rookies. And then you started seeing veterans re-sign with their teams and not feel mistreated, et cetera. I think you're going to see the same thing. And I think Alabama has taken that model because Jacob Powell pointed out, he said, if you look at the money spent on NIL, Alabama is about $6 million behind the top payers, but we spend a lot, but we're spending on keeping players. That's why the strategy very well may pay off, because when you sign a guy, you're telling them up front, hey, and you have proof. Hey, listen, this is what you're going to get out of high school. And if we're not in your budget, we're not even going to recruit you if you think it's going to take that kind of money. And then when you sign, but you can go back and say, look, if you come here and produce, don't worry, you're going to get your money. Because the way Alabama does it, it's 1 year at a time, X. So if a guy doesn't produce this year, just because he got $5 million from the Alabama side. Now, remember, there's the boosters and the Yay Alabama, and then there's the sponsorships. From Alabama, they can reduce it after 1 year if a guy doesn't produce. That goes back to what I was saying about the kid who felt the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that was a 1 year deal. And so if he didn't have a great year, he was afraid he would lose that money the next year.
Yep.
And if Texas A&M does it again and then end up losing 2 to 3 years down the road, everybody, because they didn't pay them or play them. And remember, I need to find this, X. While you finish talking, I'm going to see if I can find the statistics on how many NIL deals are still in clearinghouse that players haven't been paid.
Oh yeah.
Promised and not paid. In Alabama is not putting themselves in that situation, but a lot of schools are.
Yeah, I mean, I just went and looked at it, and of the 8 players that A&M signed in 22, there were 5 stars: Walter Nolan, Evan Stewart, LT Overton, Connor Weigman, Chris Marshall, and Anthony Lucas all transferred.
Yeah.
So six of the 8, and of the other 2, you have one guy, Shamar Stewart. He ended up being a first round draft pick, and then another guy who was drafted this year in like the 4th or 5th round. So was it worth paying all that money up front? And you even look at other schools that do this. You look at Oregon. Oregon, yes, they lose a lot of guys, but they're able to pay every year. So it looks good, but what has Oregon won? Nothing. So it hasn't worked out for them. Everybody said Oregon was going once NIL. Oregon was going to win everything. Still haven't won anything because they lose a lot of guys. They haven't. Justin Herbert was their last quarterback that they signed out of high school that started for them. So they don't develop anyway either. So it's just going to be a continuing battle time and time again. Go ahead.
No, Alabama.
Bama did land 2. We talk about Cedric Simmons, the wide receiver out of Southside, which is near Selma. He flipped his commitment from Auburn yesterday. He's a 5'9", 185-pound wide receiver. Had over 2,000 yards receiving last year as a junior and 20 touchdowns. So extremely explosive guy. Was kind of shocked that he committed to Auburn originally. He grew up a big Bama fan. So we have that. Then, of course, once again mentioning Anthony Blaylock Jr., the big offensive lineman, who's a part of the 28 class of 4-star out of Youngstown, Ohio. And then tomorrow, that's when all the cookies and whether the cards may fall. Munshawn Sales is committing. Where does he end up? Is the hometown connection, the hometown ties enough to get him in crimson and white, or does he end up in red and cream at Indiana, Texas? Those really seem to be the 3 that are in competition for his commitment.
So Alabama has moved up a little bit, getting a guy right out of Ohio State's backyard, literally, in an offensive lineman, 4-star. So could make a move, and I think Alabama's going to end up really, really okay. I think you can see where Alabama signs everybody else they sign in this class, even though it may not be a lot, maybe 4- and 5-star type of players. They could sign some more 3-stars. I don't know. And some of these 3-stars were literally 1 point. They had, I think, 2 or 3 3-stars that was 1 point from being 4 stars.
Nigel Newkirk got bumped up, the running back out of Gainesville, Georgia.
So he's
now a 4-star. He's a 4-star now.
That's what I'm saying is so and that's what you're gonna see. So we could, and I'll address Jacob Powell as we go to break here. I hope it pays off because banking on the fact that the players you have on the team being better than the ones coming out, you better bank on that. You better not build your hope on a class that's in high school. You better be now. I hope that the guys on the team are better.
One word: Indiana.
Yeah. So
who's higher than
I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying, but I don't think Alabama. Like I said, remember, there's 120 scholarship players now.
Yeah.
These. Let me help. I know we got to get the break. Let me help you out. Let's say the 3-stars that they're signing this year are replacing guys that they were giving walk-on scholarships to. I mean, invites.
Mm-hmm.
That So the floor is actually getting higher, and you're getting guys who could potentially come into play. Because remember, they can sign 120. They can have 120 scholarship guys. So
105.
I keep saying 120. 120. They added 20 more spots, which gets you to 105. So scholarship players. So that's the other part that we need to also remember is that Alabama's boosting not just the team that's going to play next year, but they're also building out their scout team as they make this journey and track. Just to give you numbers as we go to break here, let this sit in for a second. Approximately $355 million in NIL deals have been approved or cleared, okay? $90 million, let this sink in, $90 million, Xavier. $90 million. In other words, there are players in college or that have signed have not got $90 million of what they were committed. That's not counting the deals that are still waiting to be cleared. 90 million have been rejected and said that's not a legit NIL deal. So you heard it reported, but you didn't hear it rejected. So there are guys out there who got signed for money and then it didn't clear. So as we get to break, isn't the point to sign the guys and keep the players who is better? That's what Alabama's doing. They're having a mix of it. So I think that's exactly what Alabama's doing. So we'll be back on the other side. And we appreciate you jumping in here with us on this Thursday edition of the program. We're going to revisit with just a couple highlight reels. Is that okay, X? The highlight from Ryan Williams and DP, and let you see some video, or just let you hear it talked about and see what you say.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Interstate's in great shape. 359 north and south on a brake line to be found. Same story, 2059 east and west getting you to and from Birmingham. Skyland Boulevard's working well parallel towards the interstate. McFarland Boulevard's working well getting you around. 15th Street is a great bypass getting by the university. Looks like Greensboro north and south working well parallel to 359. Everything else in solid shape. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Eder Seco.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea. Visit them online at tacocasa.com. That's tacocasa.com. Quality, taste, and value on the biggest cactus in town. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com.
Cypress Supply is proud to host a Milwaukee tool raffle for Will Roberts and his family. Stop by Cypress Supply and purchase a $100 ticket for a chance to win the grand prize, a Milwaukee M18 Fuel Tool Kit. 100% of the proceeds will be donated to Will Roberts and his family. Buy a ticket, change a life. The winner will be contacted once all the tickets are sold. You don't have to be present to win. To purchase tickets, Venmo at Brandon-Massengale or bring cash to Jess Sumner at Cypress Supply.
The Venue, your new favorite Tuscaloosa hangout, food, music, and more. Come and taste what's new at The Venue, whether it's Liza's Sweet Shop, whether it's the all-day breakfast and burgers from Ramajama's, or the quality food that you can get at Finish Pub. Great atmosphere, great time, great people, great environment. That's The Venue. You can find them online at thevenuetuscaloosa.com, located off of Watermelon Road, just past Sokol Park. That's The Venue, Tuscaloosa's new favorite hangout. Make it yours.
Hey, this is Wyatt Fulton from Tide 100.9. Join us starting on July the 20th for SEC Media Days live from Tampa, Florida, presented to you by Pearl River Resort and the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We'll bring you live updates, press conferences, and interviews from all 16 teams in the Southeastern Conference at SEC Media Days 2026 from Tampa, Florida, presented by Pearl River Resort. Join us starting July the 20th for a week of content from Tampa, Florida, live at SEC Media Days 2026, presented to you by Pearl River Resort and the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino in Choctaw, Mississippi.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. One of the questions we got asked was, so are we the only school doing this or no? I don't know what all the other schools are doing. So I can't say that for a fact. But I think it's based on what you've done. Okay. The top school, Alabama, is the only one that I know of that didn't have guys hit the portal. We were like the top team. We've been the top team ever since the Nick Saban portal debacle, where he left the team and all the Alabama players left. Xavier, Coach DeBoer's first 30 days on the job. Since that time, Alabama's lost the fewest number of players to the portal. And they've gotten better. They've had a couple portals where nobody left, that no scholarship players left. And like I said, he's lost one guy that he signed. So I think his strategy, Jacob and other maniacs, may be being driven by his success on retention. Watch what happens I'm telling you, if you want to see what's happening, just watch the NFL draft. Okay? If a team ends the season and they don't lose a lot of players to free agency or retirement, their draft is totally different. Their draft is not about getting always necessarily the best player as much as it is what do we need to build out our team. And I think Alabama's impacted by that, Xavier. So I don't know. I can't answer whether other teams are taking this strategy because I don't know if any team – Alabama has consciously and intentionally chosen to invest more in the guys who are currently on the program, which pays well. And if you get a guy here, it increases the likelihood that they know that if they stick around and they produce, they're going to get paid more. So you set a floor that they can grow from. Any thoughts on that before we play just a couple quick highlights real quick?
Yeah, and I think that's the best way, of course. And, when you look at the NFL draft analogy, I view it as the Rams. They are known to trade back and accumulate draft picks for the next year and the year after that. And so that's kind of what you see the board doing. Hey, we don't need a bunch of first round, second round draft picks. Let's trade back. Let's retain the guys that we got, pick up a few extra guys next year.
Yep. And you still try to get a couple of pieces that can come in and play immediately by signing your first, second rounders or your 4 and 5 stars, and they're doing that. And we'll see. Whether it works or not, that's yet to be seen. I can't say that it's going to work, but it seems to be intentional in what they're doing. So, but hey, I thought it'd be fun, X, just to get a little David Palmer highlight here, and comment on what you see in the similarities here. So here's David Palmer, and I'll let you hear the audio itself.
Playing in his first game of the season, sophomore sensation David Palmer finally broke loose, and following a 49-yard punt, the Deuce evaded all would-be tacklers and sprinted 63 yards for a touchdown. The dazzling return ended the threat of an upset, putting Bama up 13-0.
Palmer waits at the 42. Low kick. Palmer's got room. 3 Canes coming after him. Runs between 2 of them. He's got a hole. He's all the way back down to the 24-yard line. That's field position.
That was DP doing his thing. And I have to be fair. I got to give Ryan Williams a little love since we talked about him as well. So here's Ryan Williams doing a little thing against Georgia.
The freshman.
And now the freshman goes down the middle. Williams bobbled and caught. And the incredible start for this prodigy continues. He made that an adventure.
But you put Malachi Starks as a safety who can cover on the electrifying freshman. He's got great ball skills. That ball gets behind him. What a job there by Williams' concentration.
There's a lot of calm and command from Milroe at the start of this game. He's got to have it right now. And they take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Ryan Williams, still spinning free. Touchdown, Alabama.
Oh, man, that was
Welcome back, Blind Squirrel.
Do what?
Welcome back, Blind Squirrel.
Blind Squirrel Sport. We played that just for our Georgia spy here. But anyway, X, what I looked when we played those two, and if you're on the radio airways, what we played was David Palmer in his first game back after being suspended. First game back. Had not played all year. First game back. We're playing La Tech. This is what people get. We're playing La Tech. It's the fourth quarter. You know what the score was?
6-0.
6-0. And David Palmer comes in, and we beat La Tech that year 13-0.
Hey, who was the leading rusher against La Tech that year?
I think it was the fullback. I think the fullback led to two games that year. La Tech and Auburn. You know what they had in common? They had big physical defenses. But the fact that he came back, and then we played the Miami game where he gets the punt return and sets it up in the national championship game. So, you could literally almost flip those two players and put them in each other's film, and they both had the stop, start, the hop. It was like they had eyes in the back of their head. And of course, we played the Ryan Williams game against Georgia, which is, I think, the highlight of his young career. But he still has a chance to make some noise.
You know what play he's got that's absolutely nasty? His catch against Wisconsin. He didn't score on it, but on the sideline where he
stops and the guy flies. That's what Palmer. Remember, I was explaining what Palmer did to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see what I was talking about when I thought I had DP David Palmer dead to right, that's it. That's it. Oh man, hey, one of my teammates is on here, Anthony Dowdle. Good morning, Anthony. What's up, man? Things are going great. He just put a message in chat. So roll tide, AD. So good to hear from you. But yeah, man, that was the movie made. X. It was exactly where he's running full speed and he stops and gets up on his toes, and I go flying by as I hit the sideline. But both of those guys are nasty, right? Both of those guys are nasty, and I think that's what we're hoping to get from Alabama. From that. With that said, X. With that said, we look at Ryan Williams. Can he have one of those bounce back years? Can he have a Jackson? What was his name? Jackson.
JSN. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah,
JSN. JSN. Just
JSN. Jackson Smith. He got like 3-4 last names, so that's not my fault. I can't remember it. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But I want you to be thinking about it. Can he have that type of bounce back year? But before we do that, let's get to Chuck on the Empowerment Training and Consulting Hotline. Chuck, what's on your mind, man?
Good morning to you, man. You had me reminiscing. When David Palmer made that run, I listened to that game on Radio Live. I was a senior in high school during that time, that '92 season. Oh boy, against Louisiana Tech, my cousin was at school at Tech. Willie Rofe was playing there at Tech during the time. They all ended there together.
Hold on, you're related to Willie Rofe?
No, I'm not related to. I said my cousin. My cousin went to college at Louisiana Tech.
Okay. Willie Rofe.
No, Willie Rofe. Yeah.
Willie Rofe was the best offensive lineman I ever saw in my life.
Oh yeah, my cousins they ended up.
He was oh my, and he went. Of course, he went to New Orleans. He was the only guy I saw that stood a chance against Copeland and Curry.
Oh yeah, he was one that could really block those guys because you know those guys you had. They couldn't. A lot of teams couldn't block them, and he's one that could really block them. Yeah,
here's the thing.
Yeah,
Let
my
me
cousin.
say this real quick, Chuck. Real quick. The La Tech thing. A lot of people don't know this. When that was happening, the rumor was that that was back when we had what's called Prop 48.
Prop 48. I remember that.
And you could not, if you didn't qualify, you could go to the school and sit out 1 year. It wasn't a red shirt. You lost that year of eligibility. Then you came in.
I remember it very well.
And they had on that defense, there was 8 guys on that defense that got drafted, if I'm not mistaken. 8.
Yeah.
So the best defense I ever played against was La Tech from a linebacker standpoint.
Oh yeah, they had some defenders.
All 3 of them, I had to bring my lunch every play. Anyway, man. So real quick, Chuck, go ahead and hit what you were going to say there, man.
Yeah. That, like I said, he and my cousin came same year. You all came out the same year in 1988. My first cousin, and Willie Rofe did. They all ended together. But my reason for calling, what happened? I look at that was a great interview you did with Coach Kalen DeBoer, and Coach DeBoer probably wish he could get Kingston Prieur in there right now. I know he's a junior, 4-star quarterback. I know he wish he could get him into Tuscaloosa right now. I saw when he committed live on television. I think that was last week on ESPN. That'll be my landing gear.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Kingston, by the time he gets here, you could be down to just Jet and Elijah or Jet and Trent, some crazy combination, depending on what you see from Austin and Keelan the next 2 years. But yeah, no, he's a really talented player, and it's going to be exciting to get him here, especially with his connection with Sedarian.
Oh yes, man. But that's why I just wanted to give you. I was telling your producer. I just want to get some summer humor into you all because it's a slow sports time. But that would be my landing. I know SEC Football Media Day is coming up. It's in Tampa this time.
Yep.
It's in Tampa. Okay, I'll be tuning in to all these media days. I know you're gonna come with the hard questions on Greg Sankey, like what happened to Brett Yormark. That guy came in about the gambling at Texas Tech, and I think Yormark kind of got hot with that guy about that. But that'll be my next landing gear.
So thanks, Chuck. All right. So X, can Ryan Williams have a bounce back year?
I think he can, and I think the way that it happens isn't solely pitch and catch, throwing the ball to him. I think you have to use his versatility and his explosiveness in many ways. I don't care if he is the punt returner or not, but you have to screens, handoffs, reverses, things like that just to get the ball in this kid's hands because he's that good. He's that explosive. You cannot waste that by just saying, okay, run a post, run a go, and so on.
Yeah, what's funny, X, is if you look, when you pull up the David Palmer highlight, it says David Palmer, the Deuce, Alabama career highlights, QB, wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner. so that's all you need to know. It lists like 4 positions for him. Like he was the man at each one of those, not like hype. So he wasn't just a Wildcat guy. He actually was a quarterback that was used sparingly. And that's why I say you can use a 2-quarterback system, is because David Palmer came in and played quarterback at times, and it was key moments and all that. But anyway, and it didn't matter that he made a big play. He wasn't going to become the quarterback. And you could do the same thing with guys if you have 2 quality guys. But I think RCW can have a breakout season, X. And I know that Grubb was JSN's offensive coordinator at Seattle, and he was using the slot a lot there. And then his rookie year and last year, they moved him back to the outside. I don't know what was behind that. I don't know if that was a Grubb scenario or a wide receiver coach scenario. I don't know which one it was. But he definitely was electric and had a bounce back year. The question that we'll save for tomorrow, X, on a Free For All Friday, is will we see RCW back on the outside? Will we see him used as an athlete, as not a decoy, but as a guy that's getting maybe some wildcat snaps or maybe a reverse? Or will we see the screen game? How creative will they be in using him? And was last year, X, and make sure I ask it this way, was last year more about how they wanted to use Ron Williams or had to use him in terms of maybe his size and his youth and the fact that teams now have film on him? So was it just a sophomore slump? And once it got in his head, everything kind of went away? Because if you listen to what Herb Street said, is he said he had great ball skills. Now all of a sudden he doesn't. We'll talk about that more. Close it out, man.
Hey, this is the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon on this Thursday edition. It's been a blast talking with everybody. I'm Xavier Houston. That's Martin Houston. Of course, Simeon is out today, and we have Chase Brumfield running the show from the station for us. Y'all all have a blessed Thursday. We'll catch y'all back tomorrow on Free For All Friday.
And remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding, guys. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide, everybody.
Everyone around the world, come on! Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.